I've been taken.
I couldn't believe a word she said.
Oh, Lisa, remember me? This woman pretended to be a lawyer.
Yeah, and I believed her for a good 7
Well,
months.
horribly on
I
this.
can't tell you what sort of person. All I know is she's evil.
She's a criminal. She's a con.
Lisa, now that you've pleaded guilty, is there anything you want to say to the families you stole money from? Lisa Birch is a mother of 3 and a career con artist who's pocketed hundreds of thousands of dollars from unsuspecting victims over the past 9 years.
I don't know how she could do it. And how I believed her lies for that long. She had me convinced.
Chris, we sit here today and you don't even really know her name, do you?
No. Honestly don't.
Well, her real name is Lisa Marie Birch. What's the name you've known her as?
Elizabeth Webb.
How does that make you feel? You don't even know her.
Makes me feel like crap.
Chris Davis was Lisa's partner for almost 4 years. He's also one of her many victims.
I changed my bank details. I changed a lot to lock her out.
How much do you reckon she took off you? Thousands?
Yeah. Yeah. My phone was disconnected because she swore she paid it. And she just dug a hole for me that I'm just burying myself.
What about the cancer, Lisa? Are you over the cancer? Lisa the liar's first big con was faking vaginal cancer. She told her own children she was dying, shaved her head, and fundraised for life-saving surgery.
We had no reason to doubt that she wasn't a young mother terminally ill with cancer.
Lisa stole $50,000 in donations from kind-hearted people. Where's all the money gone? Where's all that cancer money
Get
gone?
out of my car.
She's just said that was my past. I was proven innocent, and that's the end of it.
She was far from innocent. While inside Bandia Prison, Lisa met Justice campaigner John Button, the chairman of the Innocence Project.
I gave her the benefit of the doubt.
But did she claim to be innocent or not?
No, she was absolutely truthful that she did what she did. She deserved to be in there.
After 2 years in jail, Lisa Birch turned her attention to an animal rescue group, defrauding them of thousands more. In 2009, she even made it onto WA's top 5 most wanted list after conning the parole board and being released from prison, even though she'd just committed more offences.
A convicted con woman can manipulate the system.
That's Craig Fraser, just one of Lisa's several lovers and husbands she stole money from.
Just be very careful of Lisa the liar.
Tonight, after a major 18-month investigation, Today Tonight can reveal the extent of Lisa Birch's latest scam. Of all the organisations, Lisa the liar has been working for the Innocence Project.
Relief and jubilation for John Button.
John Button was wrongly convicted of manslaughter over the death of his girlfriend back in 1963.
40 years, but we've got that.
After that prison meeting with Lisa Birch, the two became friends. Button even acted as Lisa's marriage celebrant at her second wedding in December 2009. She was married using the fake name Elizabeth Marie Webb.
She showed me a certificate stating that her name now had been changed to Elizabeth Webb. So I moved her under that name.
When that marriage ended 2 months later, Lisa was back on a dating website where she met Chris Davis. A few weeks later, they moved into a house Lisa pretended to own.
I thought, I finally met someone that, I didn't have to look after. Someone who could look after herself. And I thought it'd be easier on my kids that she's financially stable and I'm financially stable.
Lisa was on the con again. In 2010, she approached her friend John Button about working for the Innocence Project, and he agreed.
We've been keeping in touch, we've been helping her out, and she started expressing an interest in giving something back to society and helping out.
Tell me about the Innocence Project. I want to know what you did. No, I want to know now. Did she say she was a lawyer?
She said she was a legal secretary.
John, tell me this. Have you ever introduced Lisa to any clients through the Innocence Project as your assistant or as a legal secretary?
No. Never.
Today Tonight has spoken to 2 families who turned to the Innocence Project to clear the names of loved ones who are in prison. Both families say that John Button introduced them to his assistant, Elizabeth Webb. who was actually Lisa Birch, a convicted con artist with absolutely no legal qualifications, who would work on their cases and attempt to have their family members freed from jail.
She says, like, she'll get them out of jail because they're innocent. But I didn't realise it was just absolute crap.
One case involved Kyle Gordon, convicted of dangerous driving causing the death of 12-year-old Annalise Van Dawson.
What happened today is sad for all involved.
Kyle Gordon's parents believed in his innocence. They've told Today Tonight that when they emailed the Innocence Project, the reply came from a Lizzie Mack. With their son in jail, they had a meeting at Lizzie's house, attended by John Button. Lizzie Mack was another alias of Lisa Birch. What was she even doing at that meeting then?
Because I gave her an opportunity to get involved and try and plead herself.
For several months, Lizzie, the legal assistant, aka Lisa the liar, worked on the Gordon case. Lisa, is it Liz or Lisa or Lizzie? Who are you going by these days exactly? But John, what are you doing letting Lisa the liar be involved in the Innocence Project and work on these cases?
Well, I suppose I wanted to see some good in her and try to give her the opportunity to put something back in.
The other case involved the Murphy family, who say that Lisa Birch pretended to be a lawyer, forged documents, and convinced them that their relative was about to be freed from prison. She charged them $60,000 in legal fees. So, going by the name Elizabeth Webb, she told them the money should be transferred to a Lisa Birch, who was the wife of the treasurer at the Innocence Project. You guessed it, the 60 grand went straight into Lisa the liar's personal bank account. What did you do at the Innocence Project? You haven't done anything. What about the Murphy family who you stole $60,000 off? What about them? The Murphy family said that when they started handing over all this money to Lisa, that they contacted you and said, why are we paying all this money? Should we be paying all this money? We're losing tens of thousands of dollars. And that you said, don't worry, that's standard procedure.
No, I mean, the Innocent Project itself is completely voluntary. We don't take money off people.
The Innocence Project is an internationally renowned organisation. Locally, it's campaigned in high-profile cases like Andrew Mallard's wrongful murder conviction. According to its website, its patrons are the WA Governor, Malcolm McCusker QC, and the former Chief Judge, David Malcolm QC. This afternoon, Mr McCusker told Today Tonight that he and Mr Malcolm agreed to be patrons of a separate organisation, not the one run by Mr Button. I have therefore sent an email to request that our names be removed from the website, as we are not and never have been co-patrons of that body. Serious questions have now been raised about how the organisation was run.
For the Innocent Project, I'm terribly disappointed because there was never any intent there, and I suppose I never ever thought this could possibly happen.
Today Tonight has approached Lisa Birch several times for her version of events. What made you represent people under the guise of the Innocence Project and give people false hope that you'd get their loved ones out of jail? Excuse me, don't touch the camera or that's assault, all right?
Well,
That's
mate, you
assault
just
right
laid
there.
hand on a 16-year-old boy, so
You will not be assaulted. Get out of the camera, crew. Get out of the way.
Michael.
Lisa Birch swindles money from strangers and loved ones. What do you think she's taken from what you've seen?
Well, basically close to everything.
Before fleeing the home she shared with Chris Davis, Lisa cleaned him out.
She's taken the 3D player, the PlayStation 3. She's taken all my fridges. She's taken my swimming pool for the kids, even my doona sets and pillows.
And Chris says his $30,000 DVD collection.
What's she need it for? What, more money? Hasn't she done people out of enough money?
I think she's a parasite
What's a parasite?
and she has to be stopped.
Marie Gabriel is yet another recent victim. She admits after fleeing a violent relationship, she was at her most vulnerable.
I couldn't see past a metre in front of me, you know, I just couldn't function properly. My mind wasn't there.
When Marie went to Mandurah Court to apply for a restraining order against her ex-partner, she was preyed upon by Lisa Birch, the fake lawyer.
She introduced herself as Liz, that she's a solicitor, she can help me,
So, Marie, this is right where you were when she approached you.
This is exactly where I was standing, right next to this bin.
And what did she say to you?
That I was brave and strong and I did well and that she was proud of me.
And do you need a lawyer?
Do I need a lawyer? And I had said, yes, I do. I just don't know how I'm going to afford it.
That's where Liz, the lawyer, could help. For $2,700, she could sort out a property dispute Marie was having with her ex-partner.
We went through my wages, my bank statements, what I'd paid into my mortgage, what I have, what I don't have.
You trusted her with everything?
Trusted her. Well, I thought she was a lawyer. She had an office set up in her home.
You can keep running, but you can't hide from this. The cruel con artist even produced a fake document, complete with court stamp, telling Marie she'd won her case and the house was hers. After spending hours together working on the case, Marie says the pair became friends.
She became a big part of my life. I mean, I spent Christmas Eve at her place and with her and Chris, and within a month that had busted up, and so she ended up here because she had nowhere to go with her kids. Then the new boyfriend moves in, her working son and his girlfriend move in, plus a few of their friends were living here when I wasn't home.
Finally, with Lisa, 8 relatives and friends and 6 cats living in her own home, Marie became suspicious. She rang the Legal Practice Board to inquire about this so-called lawyer, Liz Webb.
And I spoke to a lady there who put me onto somebody else who said that Liz Webb was Lisa Marie Birch and that she's not a lawyer. And she said, if you want to know a little bit more about her, Google her name. And I did. And I read, and I read, and I read so many stories. I read that she even took, an old pension as last $50. That is worth more than my $2,700.
Lisa Birch has left a trail of heartbroken victims who'll find it hard to trust anyone again. Chris Davis's world came crashing down when he discovered his 4-year relationship was one big lie.
Someone told me to look up on the internet on Today Tonight. So I looked it up and I was absolutely disgusted. Basically, it was like living with a person that didn't exist.
John and Helen Button deny any wrongdoing. They say they're victims too, after lending Lisa money. For a while, she lived at their house too. So you're out of pocket as well?
Oh, yes.
How much?
It was thousands. Hate to think.
She preys on vulnerability, people that are at their lowest.
What would you like to see done to her?
I'd like to see her jailed.
Marie is likely to get her wish. Lisa Marie Birch is now facing another stint behind bars after pleading guilty to more fraud charges. Paddy, she's pleaded guilty now,
Ms.
so...
Birch cannot make any comments until she's dealt with by the court, okay? And I hope that you will respect that.
I'd like to see if she's got any remorse for stealing tens of thousands of dollars from innocent families.
Her remorse will be expressed to the court mark in due course.
I don't even know why I got involved with her. I think I was just lonely.
The Murphy family, who lost $60,000 on cruel, empty promises, say they've been ruined.
So do you admit, at the very least, you've been naive in all this?
I'm very naive, yes. I tend to look for the good in everyone and work with them and give them an opportunity.
On her behalf, I can tell all the families who have lost their money that Ms. Birch is very, very remorseful and apologetic for what has happened.
I'd like to hear that from you, Lisa. I mean, how did you think you would continue to get away with this? It's quite extraordinary.
If anybody needed to be burnt at the stake like a witch, that's it.
So do you have patience, Lisa? Because you keep stealing from innocent people. How do you feel about that they're now broke?
Get away from my
When are you
children.
going to stop this, Lisa? Lisa Marie Birch will be sentenced in the District Court next month. Back in a moment.